Hello, everyone. Casey Stubbs here with how to replace your income with options. I just had a great breakthrough and I doubled my account. And I want to share how I did it. And I want to share how you can do this through using these same strategies that I have been teaching others to do. Now, the way that I'm going to talk about this today is in three ways. So first of all, I want to talk about barriers, identifying barriers, analyzing barriers, thinking about how we approach these barriers. That's the first thing. Then the second thing I want to talk about is mindset and how we can celebrate wins. Three-part really. Barriers, mindset, and wins. And they're all really tied up into mindset. So really we could say one thing. Today, you're going to learn one thing, mindset, but it's broken down into three parts. Barriers, understanding that it is a mindset, and then celebrating your wins. So let's break it all down. Let's get ready. Enjoy today's training. And remember, I want to help you replace your income with options. That's what I'm here for. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me, or you can always sign up for my Masterclass, which is in the link in the description. Let's get started. Now, you might have a barrier. We all have barriers. There's things that stop us from doing what we want to do. And it might be someone that you love, your wife or husband. That's a barrier, right? They're stopping you from having fun. Or your parents, your parents are your barrier. Now, that's not the kind of barriers I'm talking about today. We got to stop looking at people as our barriers and start realizing that we have limiting beliefs in our mind, which are our barriers. I recently broke a massive barrier where I doubled my account. And so the first thing I would say is understanding that barriers are a great opportunity. So we're breaking that down into mindset, that barriers are a great opportunity. If there's something that you need to do that you have not done, or that you cannot do, that you have not accomplished, it's an opportunity. So when we talk about celebrating wins, let's celebrate the opportunity of the barriers and problems that are before us, because a barrier is going to make us get better. It's going to make us stronger. It's going to teach us new skills. It's going to give us perseverance, or it's going to totally break us because we quit and we go home crying because we have the wrong mindset. I've seen tiny little barriers derail people from success, all because they get emotional, they get bent out of shape, they blame people, they get angry, and they refuse to take ownership and to understand that there's an opportunity before them, and they walk away from an amazing opportunity and they quit, they give up, they shut down, they don't engage, and it ends right then and there. And there was a perfect opportunity for growth in their life, and yet they didn't accept it. Now, I'm not just pointing the fingers at other people. I've been the same way many times, and I'm working at embracing the challenge. Embrace the suck. Get out of your comfort zone and enjoy it and learn. Just realize and understand that it's a good thing to be out of your comfort zone. So let's kind of break it down here. When you have a barrier, it's an opportunity. So you need to step back and kind of detach yourself emotionally from the barrier. You want to accomplish something. So we're going to use the example of doubling your account. You want to accomplish something, but there are certain things that you must do to break that barrier. And one of the things that we need to understand about barriers is we talk about breakthroughs. I want my breakthrough moment. I want a financial breakthrough. I want a relationship breakthrough. I want a breakthrough at work, wherever it is. Breakthroughs are really just tiny steps to accomplish your goal. And then after all of those tiny steps have happened, then all of a sudden it's breakthrough. And it happens in one moment, but it doesn't happen in one moment. It's a long series of events that begins to build momentum and starts to escalate. And then finally, you've accomplished your breakthrough. But it's understanding the process and understanding the journey and understanding that it's a series of actions that we must take is really powerful. So whenever you have a problem, I suggest that you sit back and you analyze the situation. You analyze the problem and the barrier before you. Don't get emotional about it, but instead look at it as an opportunity for growth. Look at a barrier as an opportunity for growth. That's a win right there. If you can learn to see barriers as an opportunity for growth, you're in the right direction. The second step is to sit back and not get emotional, but rather look at the problem from all kinds of different angles. Maybe get someone's opinion. Talk to someone who's gone through this. Get several different opinions. Do some reading. Take some time. Journal about it. Write about it. And then come up with a strategy to break whatever barrier it is. So in this situation for me, in doubling my account, I had a twofold strategy. Step number one was to take and sell options each week in my account and to create weekly cash flow through options and just do that each and every week, spending about an hour a week, give or take, maybe less, because it gets pretty simple once you really understand the process. So that was the first step in my solution to doubling my account. My barrier was that my account wasn't big enough. So then the second part of my solution was to consistently add funds to my account as they became available to me. And if you've listened to my podcast before, you know that I've done this before and that I have consistently added money to my account. When I first started back when I was 19, I would add $100 a month to my account and it would grow and grow and grow. And so I still do that to this day. So step one is to replace income with options. And step two is to add money to the account. And when you add money to the account, it truly increases your results. Now, there is, of course, once you get to a certain size, that's not necessary. All right. But as you know, once you're at whatever amount you need, once you're at your cash flow goal, you don't need to add anymore, but it can still be a good habit to get into. All right. So then now that I understand the steps that have to take, what do we have to do? We have to follow through with the process of taking those steps. Now, I have maybe even mentioned something similar to this last time when I said, if you listen to my podcast previously where I was talking about running and don't burn yourself out. Don't go too fast. Don't get injured, right? Well, that's part of the process is understanding that barriers are taken out in small chunks. And then when you take out one small chunk, it adds up. Consistently doing the actions that need to be done over time will yield a result and it ends up in a breakthroughs of barriers. It's the consistency of doing what you need to do on a regular basis without making fatal mistakes for a long period of time. And I was just watching an interview with Kobe Bryant, the famous basketball player who was tremendously successful. And he was saying, you know what? It's about doing the little things over and over and over again, not for a week, not for a month, but for years and years and years. So barriers are broken by being consistent. And it's amazing to see the power of consistency. Consistency is a superpower. And also avoiding the big critical mistakes. You know, those mistakes will take you out every time. If you try to go too big, too fast without understanding about how important risk management is. And so I want to really get you in the frame of mind of looking at barriers as opportunities and being thankful and celebrating every step of the journey. If you're starting out, you know, I talk about with our strategy that's won 25 trades in a row, which is pretty remarkable. I talk about every time you get a win, it's something to be thankful about. It's something to, when I say win, I mean a winning trade. But even starting the journey, you know, hey, you started, you opened up an account, you put money in. Every time you make a deposit, celebrate. Every time you hit that take profit, celebrate. Every time you close out for a loss and you manage your risk properly, celebrate. You know, I just did something this week that I celebrated, and it was I didn't get greedy and I took my profit at 15% instead of going for the full win. And I really celebrated the fact that I wasn't going for the full win. Because why? Because I took a step in the right direction. Every time we take a step in the right direction, we're moving closer to our goals. And, no matter how hard the things are in your life, how we approach those problems will determine whether we're going to be successful. So if you look at the problems that you have, the barriers that you need to overcome as opportunities, instead of getting upset that they're there and trying to blame other people and say, why did this happen to me? Why don't I have the ability to do this? Why is this so hard for me? Why is it easier for Joe and it's hard for me? If you change the way you approach it, it will change your mindset and you say, this is an opportunity. This is a privilege. This is something I get to do. And now that I have the ability to solve this problem, I can use these skills and I can help myself solve more problems. And I can use these skills to help other people. And the very problem that I have that I was able to conquer, now I have a tool in my tool belt that is going to take me 10 times farther than I would ever go if I never had this problem in the first place. So let's celebrate the problems in our life because they're the biggest opportunities. And so with that being said, I'm here to encourage you, replace your income with options. It's a great, great thing to do. It's a skill set that you can take with you and you can use it to generate income, to replace income, to change your life. And so go ahead. Check out my masterclass. And I want to thank all of the listeners. I got a great feedback from one of the listeners this week about somebody that wants to use their replaced income for giving. And I think, wow, they're solving a problem in their life and they're going to use it to give to others. That's the type of people that I want to influence on this podcast. And if we're all doing things like that, think about the difference that we can make together collectively. And so I want to continue to do what I'm doing and to help people in that regard. So continue to reach out to me. The feedback that I've been getting has been very encouraging. And remember, join that masterclass. The link is in the description. It's got everything that you need to get started, how to replace the income, the steps you need to take, why it's so important in today's world with inflation. Replacing your income is more than ever. And for everyone that takes my systems and strategies and becomes successful, it's us collectively helping other people do the same by teaching others, or by being able to give, or being able to have free time with family, or being able to do things for family, or helping our family, right? I mean, I know that most of the people that do this, they're not doing it just so they can go out and buy themselves the newest Lambo. And if that's what you want to do, that's okay too, because you're solving a great problem. But I'm excited about the growth of the podcast and of the listeners. I've got some great stories. I interviewed one of our successful clients, Simon, and I'm looking forward to interviewing more of you. So be on the lookout for those types of episodes where we're going to interview everyday people and we're going to find out how they were able to break their barriers. I'm teaching you now and sharing with you about how I'm breaking my barriers, and I want to show you how you can do the same. And then do the same for others. How to Replace Your Income with Options podcast. We're replacing it by doing 1% a week with just an hour a week. We're gaining revenue and we're getting our lives back by not using a lot of time. Thanks for listening, and until next time.